Operations are ramping up across the country, but you're going to see a ramp up of operations in New York. You're going to see a ramp up of operations continue in LA. And, Portland, Seattle. I mean, all these sanctuary cities that refuse to work with ICE.
Okay, so that's the border czar, Tom Homeland. As he mentioned, ICE could soon ramp up enforcement in Portland, Oregon, but not before the riots hit the streets of that Dem-led city overnight. This is how it went. So the violence against federal agents already erupting in the sanctuary city, and officers issuing an order for everyone to leave that area. In addition, the far-left activists set up a guillotine in front of an ICE facility. And for good measure, they burned an American flag. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons with me now, and sir, good morning to you. The question was whether or not Portland and Seattle and Chicago are going to get the treatment soon, whether or not they have to concede. But just looking at this order from a judge in California blocking the National Guard from going into California, can you beat that, sir?
Bill, I tell you what the biggest problem is just what you showed, right? They're not trying to stop our operations. They're just out having lawlessness. So I think going forward, we're going to have to work with all our federal partners and all local law enforcement to stop these crazy radical left protesters, because there's no place for this in our society. And on top of that, it takes local law enforcement resources away from the people who actually need it to deal with these crazy activists. It's unreal.
Okay, so what about the miners and that flight that was prevented from going to Guatemala? Can that be revisited?
Yeah, that can be revisited. And unfortunately, I can't really discuss that because we already are in legal talks right now with the Department of Justice working on our options. But I would just say that, kind of like the one person in that spot hit before, these children have parents in another country, and it's our job to go ahead and reunify them. And on top of that, it was one of President Trump's main priorities with this immigration enforcement pickup was identifying and finding more than 300,000 unaccompanied children that came to the United States. So we're still going to keep that mission going. We're still going to attempt to locate these children, many of which we found in slave labor type situations, sex trafficking. So that's still our #1 priority, is the protection of these children.
Wow. Okay. Quite the story there. Let's move to Kristi Noem's appearance on CBS. We're going to play a clip. Now, she says half of her answer was cut out. This is how it went on Sunday.
The one thing that we will continue to do is to make sure that he doesn't walk free in the United States of America. This individual was a known human smuggler, a MS-13 gang member, an individual who was a wife beater, and someone who was so perverted that he solicited nude photos from minors, and even his fellow human traffickers told him to knock it off. He was so sick in what he was doing and how he was treating small children. So he needs to never be in the United States of America, and our administration is making sure we're doing all that we can.
So what the viewers should understand is screen left is what did not air, and screen right is what was cut out, basically. CBS says this: Secretary Noem's Face the Nation interview was edited for time and met all CBS News standards. The entire interview is publicly available on YouTube, and the full transcript was posted earlier this morning. I don't know how many folks read a transcript. We do, because it's kind of in our business and it's our job. I can imagine some people go to YouTube and see that. What do you make of her claim and CBS's response?
Well, it's very disheartening, the fact that they want to go ahead and stop Secretary Noem from telling the truth about this, this egregious offender, right? So to your point, Bill, no one's going to read a transcript, or no one's going to go to YouTube. You had millions of viewers at that time, at the Sunday morning show, watching that and have, key parts of that conversation cut out. It's not right. Under President Trump's administration with Secretary Noem, she's committed us to being transparent, and that's what we're doing. The American people need to know exactly who we are arresting. In the last administration, we were always on the defense when it came to media, but now we want to make sure that public actually knows what the men and women of ICE are doing out there every day. In that interview, she told about this offender and why he needs to be deported back to his country. And I think, it's a shame that they would go ahead and edit that, because this person isn't a Maryland man. He's a criminal alien from El Salvador that's living in Maryland that we need to take off the streets.
Okay, Todd Lyons, thank you for your time, sir. The part they cut out was like the facts that the federal government's making against him. So it was intriguing nonetheless, and we'll see if there's further reaction to that as we go forward. Todd Lyons, thanking you for your time today.
Thanks, Will. Great talking to you. Appreciate it.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.